sorry, I was just saying that the purpose of this PC is really to address any questions at all we have about legal matters, even though it's very basic. For example, why was this an arbitration process? If there wasn't an arbitration process to begin with, how could these countries like France and the Netherlands accept it as an arbitration process in the first place, right? And also questions of what's going to happen next. How is the government of Malaysia planning to pursue the litigation further? Eight claimants, Cohen by himself, Stampa by himself, things like that. So what happens next? And also any legal consequences might have. All questions are welcome pertaining to the solutions. Thank you. That was walking in at 12. And we also have refreshments after this, so please stay back there. Today, which is Datuk and also Datuk Sultan. So both of them are from the Sulu Secretariat.
Okay, come. Is everyone here? Okay. Do we do it in Malay or in English? So we got foreign correspondents. So I think you start first. Introduce everyone.
Thank you everyone for coming today. We have with us for this Malaysia-Sulu press conference. We have our, of course, YBM, and we also have with us Yang Bahagia Datuk Seri who is the Jabatan from Secretary of Perdana. We have with us also Yang Bahagia Datuk Azalina binti Datuk Dr. Johan, who is our Peguam Cara Negara II from Jabatan Peguam Negara, and we have with us Yang Bahagia Datuk another Raja, who is the director of the IEC. We will have the minister respond to all questions that you have. It can be in Malay and English. If you need us to repeat after it's done in English to Malay, you can also do that. So let's start with the questions, please.
Okay. Shall I just address your questions or your concern better than me talking? Because I think it's easier so that I can clarify and clear anything that you want some more clarity on the next steps and whatever matters that you think or you're of the opinion that the public has a right to know. Please, but can you please introduce yourself and address your question to anyone? If I can't answer, I'll get the experts here to answer on my behalf, please. I think we do it English or Malay lah, no problem. Silakan. Yes, take the mic boleh? Dia nak cakap. Do you want a mic? Maybe you can stand up, the rest tak boleh dengar. So, terima kasih, Area Metro.
Baru ni, masa PAU, tempoh hari, Datuk Seri ada kata nak siasat dalang di sebalik tuntutan Sulu ni. Jadi, bagaimana dengan perkembangan kes tu, Datuk Seri?
PDRM dalam proses lah siasatan. Dan saya tak dapat bagi komen sebab mereka masih dalam siasatan. Sebab Ketua Pengarah Bayu dah buat laporan, jadi PDRM dalam siasatan lah. Dan itu kerja PDRM dan kita tunggulah outcome daripada siasatan mereka. Soalan lain? Any other questions? Yes, introduce yourself please.
Hi Datuk Seri, I'm from the News Straight Side. NST carried an article quoting Paul Cohen saying that the fight is far from over. So they will go to the Dutch Supreme Court after this to appeal against the Court of Appeal's decision. So when they are exploring a lot of avenues here, are we going on an offensive mode to stop all this once and for all?
Well, yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I saw your NST's story. Well, first of all, the fight is not over. I agree. That's the only thing I agree with Paul Cohen. The fight is not over. Number two, you tell Cohen on my behalf, you want to fight fairly. Put the money where your mouth is. Don't jump jurisdiction to jurisdiction as if you want to take advantage of the UN on the arbitration forum. Now, the issue is, of course, we're going offensive because along the way, when this government took over the matter, the Kerajaan Madani, there are multiple realizations upon this process that we have picked upon along the way. First of all, what is questionable even until today is the fact that when the Madrid court themselves asked to stop the proceedings, they jumped to Paris, then they jumped to other countries. Why do you jump? If you believe, I said this many times, if you believe that your claim is a righteous claim, you stay in Madrid and fight us because we objected. We objected to so many things that transpired in Madrid. But the rogue arbitrator decides to jump. So now when they jump, so they jump in Paris, and then they wanted to execute, so we stopped them. The court made a decision, say, the civil system in European countries is different from our common law system. Our system is that we may have to settle what we started, but in that system, the civil system, they have the ability to jump or foreign shopping, that's number one. Number two, even in Madrid, we cannot do any civil action on the arbitrator, the rogue arbitrator, until the criminal actions taken by the government, by the authorities. So when I was in Madrid, we wanted to do double claims while waiting for the hearing date for the criminal action on Stampa. we've been told to wait because the court hasn't even given date on the hearing date, but they're looking at 2024. So pending that, we're at loss physically from the financial side because we have to keep having the councils stationed with us. So our lawyers are still working for us there, even though the criminal cases, the authorities have decided to prosecute, but the prosecution is 2024. Now, if you ask me, can we take civil action on Stampa in Spain? We can't. We have to wait until the case been settled from the criminal side. Okay, that's on Spain. In reference to France, we know very well is that we have to annul the final award. So we are in the process of annulling it. And annulling it, we have to wait. We have submitted all our argument, but we have to wait the date from the court. And at the same time, from what I read from NST, they're talking about appeal. But suddenly, out of the grapevine, our counsels tell us, since one of the claimants died, because they are Muslim claimants, 1 out of the 8 died, rumors has it that they want to request for some time to find the waris to take over. So can you imagine, on one hand, you have Cohen saying the fight is not over. On the other hand, you're asking for multiple postponement. Something's wrong somewhere. So yes, we are going to be very more offensive from now on because we believe that this is the award is a sham award. That's why I call it the Sulu fraud. I don't call it the Sulu award. All right, next. Anything else? You want us to take you through the procedure? Yeah. From?
Datuk Seri LANGSUNG from FMT.
Okay.
You mentioned just now the cost. Earlier this year, you said so far 31 million ringgit has been spent. That was, I think, January or February. To date, what is the total amount that has been spent on this case specifically?
I don't have the numbers with me, but I think I answered in Parliament, right? The question was asked, a written question was asked in Parliament.
Correct, that was January.
Yeah, but I think the calculation given to me by AGC was from the day the matter started, way back in 2018, 2019, within that time. So, as you know, the Madani government, we took over, I think, last year, middle of 2022. So if you're asking me, will the costs keep going up? Of course, the answer is. But the question you should ask me is that who's going to pay for all this? Will it be the people of Malaysia or Paul Cohen himself or anyone out there? But we are going to go offensive. We want to be compensated back for all this that we have spent. They have to. So now the French court has awarded us 100,000 cost. The Hague court has also awarded some amount in euro, dollars. We've been told by the council that they want to pay, but I don't know who is they, whether the litigation funders or the claimant themselves. But we're waiting lah. Talk is cheap, huh? Everyone can say they want to pay, but we're waiting. Again, I say lah, to Cohen, put money where your mouth is lah. Before you say anything, you better settle the cost that is asked to be paid by the court. All right, next question. Anything else? Yes?
Hi, I'm Asha from NST. So recently lawyers have said that we should not rest on our laurels and instead focus our attention getting the French courts to nullify the so-called final award by the Dr. Azalina. So can you comment on that?
Yeah, of course, that's true. Betul lah. That is the procedure. We are also prepared to accept the fact that because of the arbitration, because we're part of the UN arbitration convention, there are more than even the said jurisdiction that was being mentioned. So we're part of the 171 jurisdiction. So, which means to say, they can go anywhere. I don't deny that. And for them to appeal, that is their prerogative. I also don't deny that. I'm not denying anything that has been said. But all I'm saying to Cohen is, you want to fight fairly. Let's settle jurisdiction by jurisdiction. But if you keep jumping, it's very obvious is that you don't want the truth to be told. And on one hand, you say that, well, the fight is not over. My response, of course, the fight is not over, but I want to fight, let's fight fairly. I think maybe Dr. Prof. Sundra can explain a bit on the 171 so that you can take the public to understand why. But before that, let me explain. If you look at the decision in the Dutch court, you must understand what they say is very accurate. When you go for arbitration, it's an alternate dispute resolution. Just like this center, kita buat ni sebab a lot of business people, dia orang tak nak pergi mahkamah sebab mahkamah ni lama, mahkamah memanggil masa, dan dokumen penjagaan, for example building contract, construction contract ni beratus tau. So jadi kalau nak selesai, kalau nak tunggu mahkamah tangguh-tangguh berpuluh tahun tak boleh selesai. Jadi arbitration ni yang kita buat, commercial arbitration macam AIAC ni yang ada dalam negara-negara sekarang, Singapura, Hong Kong sebagai our competitor, ialah kerana kita kena setuju dengan timbang tara tu pertama. Kedua, kita kena setuju kat mana. Maknanya kalau katakan kita di Malaysia, kita ada agreement kita nak buat bangunan, katakan Tun Razak Exchange, dan kontraktor dia daripada negeri China. Dia mungkin tak nak arbitration center di Malaysia, dia mungkin nak di Singapura ke di Hong Kong. Tapi kalau ada dispute, kita semua kena setuju. Sebab tu dipanggil alternate dispute resolution. Itu yang dipanggil mekanisme mediasi, nak mencari penyelesaian. Tapi dalam perkara ni, kita sebahagian daripada timbang tara antarabangsa, dia bergerak seolah-olah Malaysia ni sebuah syarikat. As if Malaysia is a country. Sorry, as if Malaysia is a company. Malaysia is a country, it's a sovereign state. You want to take a country to court, this is not the way. But they're taking the country to court under commercial arbitration agreement. And this agreement yang dia sebut ni, bukannya agreement tahun 2020 ke 1990 ke. Ini perjanjian yang dia sebut tu tahun 1878. Dan kalau kita baca keputusan daripada Mahkamah Belanda tu, dia katakan 1878 yang disebut ialah mediasi, bukan arbitration. Yang disebut ialah wakil daripada Kerajaan British. Jadi benda tu ialah sejarah lah. Saya tak nak sentuh di segi fakta sejarah. Tapi saya nak terang di sini pada rakyat Malaysia ialah bagaimana dia nak menarik Malaysia kepada aspek timbang tara kalau perjanjian tu bukan perjanjian perdagangan. Perjanjian itu semua diambil alih oleh tindakan yang mana Malaysia, Sabah menjadi sebahagian daripada Malaysia. Adanya Colbert Commission pada tahun 1962 dan menjadi sebahagian daripada Malaysia pada tahun 1993. Itu sebuah negara kan, negara yang berdaulat seperti di Malaysia. Jadi apa yang saya nak terangkan di sini ialah mereka mengambil peluang. Saya tak tahulah, kemungkinan masa benda ni bermula kerajaan Malaysia tidak stabil, saya tak tahu, mungkin itu alasannya. Ataupun dia menganggap pertukaran Perdana Menteri adalah satu peluang untuk mewujudkan satu window of opportunity untuk menyaga, saya pun tak tahu. Tapi yang pelik bin ajaib pada saya, yang paling aneh di sini ialah kenapa bila kita cabar di Madrid, Mahkamah Madrid dia lari. Why do you run? You say the fight is not over. My response, let's fight fairly. Why do you run? If you believe the claimants are legally entitled for whatever they've asked for, berilah kami peluang membela diri. Isn't that the fairest fight? Dan arbitrasi timbang tara ataupun alternate dispute resolution macam dalam bangunan ni, semua pihak kena bersetuju pada penyelesaian perbalahan. Mahkamah tu kadang penangguhan banyak, tetapi mediasi perdagangan ialah untuk mempercepatkan keputusan perniagaan supaya peniaga-peniaga boleh terus berniaga. Itu saja. Itulah platform yang mana kita menjadi sebahagian daripada ahli timbang tara. Kerajaan Malaysia tidak menentang timbang tara. We are not against commercial arbitration. No. Kita ada AIC ni, dulu KLRCA. Dan kita pula ada wujudkan timbang tara untuk negara-negara Islam. Macam-macam kita buat sebab kita tahu peniaga yang meletakkan duit beratus million mahukan adanya platform untuk menyelesaikan kalau ada konflik. Itu kita terima. That is something that Malaysia sendiri sokong. Tapi menggunakan platform timbang tara antarabangsa hanya kerana kononnya adanya perjanjian timbang tara, hanya kononnya ni Dr. Stampa ni, kami tak setuju dia dilantik sebagai timbang tara, tapi dia lantik diri dia. Dan bila mahkamah kata tak boleh, kena stand down, dia lari ke Paris. Saya nak tanya kat tuan-tuan perempuan, tak pelik bin ajaib ke? Kenapa beria-ria sangat? Dan saya berpendapat kemungkinan mungkin bukan 65 bilion ringgit yang dia nak. Mungkin mereka nakkan berapa ratus penyelesaian luar mahkamah, mungkin beratus juta USD ke, mungkin itu yang dicari lah. Saya rasa lah, mungkin saya silap. Okay, I think let Professor explain to you the UN Convention tu, how does it work?
We are a signatory to the New York Convention. At the present moment, there are 122 countries that are signatory. The main reason of the New York Convention is to actually allow the enforcement and also prevent the enforcement of foreign arbitral awards. So in fact, I think the decision in the Dutch court is so important to us because it's the first casting of the final award under the New York Convention. And the court has held that it cannot be enforced under the New York Convention. That is the most important thing. They have given many grounds, and those grounds are actually then mirrored in when we actually go to Paris. Because in the civil code, there's the model law, which is the arbitration law, which mirrors the New York Convention. So I think the message that has been sent by the Dutch court that it will not enforce the final award will be, I believe, very persuasive for all the other jurisdictions, the 171, 72 jurisdictions. Now, what we are doing in Paris is to announce the final award. That means where the award is published, the court is now invited to say that it is not valid. Because it is a sham arbitration, as YB has pointed out, we have shown that in Spain, the preliminary award has already been set aside. So, as YB has pointed out, he has actually changed the seat, which is an extraordinary event, which has never happened, and that is why I think we are quite confident that we will prevail at the end. Only thing is that we are now going through the process. Thank you.
Soalan?
From the FM, I want to ask about the upcoming trial in December, in September. Could you share a bit on that, whether the Petronas assets will still be at stake?
Do you want to respond? Luxembourg.
In the case of hello. Oh, okay. All right. In the case of Luxembourg, Petronas is taking parallel action. So whatever that is with regards to Petronas assets, action will be taken by Petronas. In the case of Malaysia, we have our own action, which we are taking before in Luxembourg, where we are also taking action in order to move away from the seizure that is being brought against us.
Dia macam ni tau. Dia apa yang dia buat tu lah, forum shopping tu ialah dia pergi negara yang sebahagian daripada UN Timbang Tara punya convention yang Prof Sundra sebut tadi. Maknanya yang saya sebut 172 negara dia boleh pergi mana-mana. Dia ada hak nak pergi. Tapi isu dia ialah setiap kali dia pergi kita akan patahkan lah. That is our job. Okay? Jadi bila di Paris dengan di Netherlands tu dia nak rayu dia, kita akan bantah lah. Tapi isu yang nak saya sebut yang saudara tanya saya lah, how much is costing the government? Memanglah costing the government banyak sebab the lawyers that we have to pay are international lawyers which has certain international skills in reference to matters like this. Maknanya kalau 65 bilion ringgit Malaysia yang dia berjaya untuk enforce, kita di Malaysia kiraan saya mudah je lah. Saya tengok seperti 1,260 sekolah. Kalau satu sekolah harga 50 juta. 252 hospital kerajaan. Kalau satu hospital ada 250, setiap hospital ada 250 katil. 2,520 masjid kalau ada 4,000 orang yang nak sembahyang dalam satu masjid. Kalau bagi contoh paling mudah, sumbangan tunai ramah satu round kan 87 bilion. Ini 65 bilion ni lebih kurang 89 round lah maknanya. Itu saya nak bagi gambaran supaya rakyat memahami. Jadi kita sebenarnya berhadapan dengan situasi yang kita sebut sebagai satu keputusannya ialah satu fraud, penipuan. Keduanya penimbang tara tu juga bagi saya satu penipuan. Sebab penipuan ni disahkan oleh mahkamah disahkan oleh kerajaan pihak berkuasa di Madrid, di Spain. Penipuan lah. Jadi kalaulah penipuan tu ada sebesar tidak, kenapa dia masih nak rayu, dia nak cakap dengan sombongnya, kenapa? Saya sebenarnya betul-betul mati akal dalam perkara ni. Itu sebab yang menjadi mangsa sekarang ni pada saya ialah kita, negara kita, Malaysia, kalau kita tidak bersatu. Kita tidak ada kerajaan yang stabil. kita tidak ada kemampuan. Itu sebabnya di sini kelebihan kerajaan madani ialah sokongan yang kita dapat secara beramai-ramai daripada semua menteri, daripada pelbagai parti politik, ialah untuk menyokong gerakan ofensif yang kita sedang buat ni. Our offensive strategy. Support mula daripada yang maklumat Perdana Menteri, diikuti dengan Menteri Timbalan Perdana Menteri, kemudian Menteri di Kabinet yang dibantu pertama sekali daripada Menteri Luar, Menteri Dalam Negeri, kemudian Menteri Komunikasi, dan saya sebagai Ketua Sekretariat ialah lebih kepada aspek undang-undang. Kita pergi ke negara-negara menyelesai, bincang, buatkan gerakan undang-undang sebab kita kena ikut prosedur undang-undang sebab kita ni sebuah negara yang bertamadun. We are a civilized country. We have to follow the law. Nak mati pun ikut undang-undang, nak patahkan ke ikut proses undang-undang. Itu sebab saya kata dekat kohon tu, you want to fight fairly. Ni mesti mamat ni duk lompat sini lompat sana, duduk kutuk. Duit dia ke duit litigation funder? Saya nak tanya. Whose money is it on their part? Bolehlah dia cakap besar. Dia ke yang keluar duit berjuta-juta nak melawan kita? That is the question you need to ask. Itu sebabnya saya dah arahkan Jabatan Peguam Negara untuk berkomunikasi dengan syarikat litigation funder Stereo. Mengarahkan peguam solicitor kita di UK untuk membuatkan menulis kepada mereka secara rasmi ke atas keputusan ini dan beri maklum untuk memberikan disclosure kepada perjanjian antara Terium sebagai funder dengan 8 orang ni. Jadi kami juga telah memberikan arahan baru. Kalau kita tengok daripada punca perhubungan itu, perhubungan dalam gerakan penipuan, there is a fraud element, kami akan buat tindakan di bidang kuasa ofensif sama ada di US ataupun di UK. Berkenaan dengan salah satu daripada 8 ni yang dilihat sebagai pengganas yang disebut oleh Kementerian Dalam Negeri, kita akan melakukan apa yang perlu dilakukan dengan dalam terrorism financing lah. Kita memberi maklum pada pihak berkuasa untuk membuatkan siasatan yang lebih. Sebab kita pun tak tahu sama ada yang berlaku ni bukan hanya satu gerakan untuk fraud di segi duit saja ataupun adakah lebih di segi kedaulatan. Saya tak tahu. Tapi Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri dalam jawapan di Parlimen pada 2 ke 3 minggu lepas mengesahkan kerajaan Filipina tidak terlibat. Presiden Bongbong pun mengatakan memang mereka tidak terlibat. Ini adalah gerakan peribadi. Jadi soalannya, saudara-saudara sekalian, 8 claimant yang sekarang tinggal 7, boleh ada kemampuan pergi ke negara-negara barat. Yang kita kerajaan Malaysia pun jawapan saudara tanya, saya kata berjuta. How can an 7 claimant yang kononnya tak ada kemampuan, ada tiba-tiba kemampuan? Soalan dia, siapa dalang di belakang mereka? Adakah hanya untuk wang ataupun lebih daripada wang? So this is the question we must ask. Itu sebab saya nak pada hari ini beritahu pada saudari, kerajaan yang stabil lah yang dapat menyelesaikan serangan ini. Ini serangan yang begitu sophisticated. Ini mungkin pada saya panggil ini sebagai a new art of war lah. Ini cara peperangan baru. Dia menggunakan elemen kewangan. Dan seperti yang mana kita tahu, kerajaan Malaysia terlibat dalam pelbagai perniagaan. Kemungkinan perniagaannya sikit, perniagaannya besar. Jadi mereka mungkin mencarilah nak mewujudkan kegusaran. Oleh itu saya membuat kesimpulan bahawa kita kena matikan segala gerakan yang dilakukan oleh mereka daripada aspek funding, daripada aspek claimant. Jadi dalam claimant ni pun kita akan membuatkan satu legal opinion di segi kajian sama ada kerajaan bersetuju apa tindakan perlu kita buat kepada mereka, sama ada perlu kita saman untuk kerugian yang kita hadapi dan sebagainya. That is why I'm saying I agree the fight is not over, but for Malaysia we fight fairly. Okay, soalan lain silakan. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, about Luxembourg, I think you wanted the details. I shall give you the details. Basically, what transpired, you are referring to the 11 July where the claimant served an attachment on 9 Luxembourg banks. Is that the question? Yeah. Regarding the assets of Malaysia and Petronas as well. Basically, what transpired is that with regards to this attachment, on the 24th of January, the Luxembourg District Court had set aside these attachments with immediate effect because the claimants has provided false address for purposes of the proceedings. So what transpired thereafter was when they had set aside the attachments with immediate effect, Malaysia obtained a court order also approving costs for the amount of euro 8,501,739.86. The claimant have challenged that order of this 27 March, and the substantive hearing of the challenge is scheduled for 25th September 2023. This is regards to the attachments. And there was also a second attachment with regards to 7 banks in Luxembourg. And with regards to that, Malaysia has already submitted Malaysia has already put in our submission. We are currently waiting for the court to fix the date for that. So that is with regards to Luxembourg.
Okay, so I have a question. Since we are the signatory to the New York Convention, right, how can we use the convention to stop all these shenanigans? This is the sham and abuse, right? And then one more thing, sorry, Wati, you said we are going on offensive. How are we doing so, besides suing them? And is there an international institution that can actually come out and reprimand these claimants on behalf of Malaysia?
Reprimand the claimants? Reprimand the claimants? No, you don't. Yeah, I think we'll answer technical. Yeah, silakan.
I just want to add on because it's similar. Is there a gap in the UN Convention, and are there any plans to check with UN on how it can address this gap? Because you know this is obviously something that was maybe not envisaged when
Abusive lah.
Yeah, when the convention was started.
Good question.
Actually, the convention, I must say, while it enables the enforcement of awards, it also prevents the enforcement of awards. So I think, remember, it cuts both ways. That is why 172 countries are now members of the convention. Simply because it makes it orderly. When arbitration awards come out, they check the validity of it. So I think that's the first thing. The way we are doing it is what is allowed in the convention. Of course, they will, as the Minister puts it, they will forum shop to look for a forum that will be favorable to them. But at the same time, the articles are quite clear. So I think now their actions are becoming limited because the court in Netherlands is a very important court. That's where the permanent court for arbitration is located, in The Hague. So a decision from the Hague court is very, very persuasive around the world. Whether we can complain to UN, it is a different matter because this is something that is seen as part of the convention matter. I don't know how we're going to frame a complaint, but there are other ways of framing complaints. I think one of the things we are really looking at is perhaps where the arbitrator is a member of a professional institute. So we will look at whether we can make a complaint to the professional institute for unprofessional conduct. So those are the kinds of things we have to do. So the UN itself will not be involved because the UN UNCITRAL itself is just a drafting body and enables the convention to be done. And you, as a country, accept it. So 172 countries cannot be wrong.
Yeah, I think to explain further, let me explain. When we met ICC in Paris, which is arbitration center 172, to dia guided by, we are under ALCO, which is with the
Asian African.
So like ICC, for example, which is based in France, and they compared to the permanent arbitrators in Netherlands. ICC comments that if any such application arrived at their doorstep, they would have rejected the arbitration. They will not allow it to be heard. So that is what unusual, reasonable arbitration centers would do. That is how the practice should be. So that's why we say it's a rogue award, because belum selesai kat Madrid, bila kita technically challenge tu, dia dapat keputusan tu, dia award. Oh, bayar 15 billion USD. Dia sebutlah. Kita tengah nak settle pasal sistem dia orang ni, sistem undang-undang ni mesti ada masa proses, pendengaran, tarikh. Ini civilized country lah macam tu. Dia lompat. Bila dia lompat, kita nak patahkan dia di France tu, di sana ada sistem prosedur masa. Maknanya bila dia lompat, dia tahu negara ni mesti ada selok-belok lama, dia ambil kesempatan. Itu maksud forum shopping. Kita sampai ke Paris, kita persoal, kita dah nak menang, puk, dia lompat pula. Dia pergi ke Hague. Ni pula di Luxembourg. Ni macam-macam dia buat, tak ada masalah lah, tu kebebasan dia. Tapi isu dia, siapa yang nak bayar kos ni? Nak suruh 8 orang bayar kos, seorang dah meninggal, tinggal 7. Tengoklah rumah dia kat Manila, dia nak bayar macam mana? Itu sebab saya kata, this is not a simple macam orang meniaga, tak puas hati, dia saman, dia nak tutup kategori. Itu kita boleh terima. Ini pelik bin ajaib sebab, kalau 100,000 pun siapa nak bayar ni, saya tengah tunggu ni 100,000 euro dollars nak bayar. Produk Boyoya cakap nak appeal lah, nak lawan lah, oh macam hero. Dia ingat ni cerita Bollywood ke? Itu saya sebut tadi, 65 bilion ni, kat negara kita, banyak macam pembangunan untuk negara, untuk rakyat Malaysia, anak-anak di sekolah, di universiti yang kita boleh bantu. Itu yang saya nak bagikan penerangan kepada media hari ini. Jadi kita terpaksa menentang kerana kita ni sebuah negara yang merdeka. We are a sovereign state. Kita sebuah negara yang berdaulat. So kita kena ikut proses undang-undang. Kalau ikut kepala saya, macam-macam saya nak buat. Tapi saya tak boleh. Saya kena ikut undang-undang. Saya seorang ahli parlimen. Saya seorang menteri kabinet. Maksudnya ialah, kalau betul ke dia nak buat tuntutan, kalau tuntutan itu telah dipatahkan dan justifikasi daripada hakim itu menyebut bahawa tuntutan itu pun tidak ada klausa arbitration, tuntutan yang merepek macam-macam, dia patut menerima bahawa kenapa dia masih nak. Adakah pertama niat dia bukan untuk claimant tapi untuk sesuatu niat yang berlainan? Ataupun kedua, adakah dalang di belakang mereka? Adakah ini bentuk tekanan dan peperangan yang baru? Saya tak tahu. Saya nak cakap, saya tak ada bukti, saya tak berani nak cakap. Tapi saya nak mempersoalkan, I'm just questioning. What is the intention in all this? Ya, Luxembourg, we will fight. Tapi keputusan di Hague dan di Paris, consistency itu, seperti yang kita wujudkan dalam website kita, untuk sulu.com tu, kita memberi. Itu sebab saya berterima kasih kepada kabinet hari ini yang dipimpin yang Mak Perdana Menteri kerana agree on the strategi menggunakan media antarabangsa dan media tempatan. Kemudian komunikasi memberi maklum kepada rakyat Malaysia untuk memahami, kehadiran tuan-tuan juga membantu. Sebab bila rakyat tahu cerita sebenar, sokongan daripada rakyat dan sokongan kepada ahli parlimen dan kepada menteri kabinet akan memberikan semangat pada negara ini. Itu sebenarnya yang kita cari. Ya, mereka tidak akan berhenti sebab bukan duit dia. Duit litigation funders, mungkin beratus juta. Tapi takkanlah sebuah negara berdaulat seperti Malaysia yang kita harus takut pada mereka. Kita atas landasan yang benar. We are on the right track. Kita tak ada tipu sesiapa pun. Kita menerima kemasukan Sabah sebahagian daripada Malaysia. Lepas tu yang pentingnya isu lahadatu. Mereka tidak mahu bercakap tentang lahadatu, tetapi keputusan di Hague tu membawa kepada statement bahawa pemberhentian disebabkan serangan di lahadatu yang kematian banyak pada anggota kita. Ini sesuatu yang rakyat Malaysia mesti bersama dengan kerajaan dalam perkara ini sebab kita mengingatkan dunia tentang apa yang berlaku pada lahadatu. Kematian yang sia-sia. Adakah dia naik bot, saya dimaklumkan daripada pembacaan statement pada polis, dia naik bot 40 minit, dia bawanya senjata, dia sembunyikan dekat Felda tu. Felda Sahabat. Kemudian dia masuk ramai-ramai. Saya nak tanya tuan-tuan, macam mana dia boleh fikir negara berdaulat Malaysia takkan serang balik? Dia boleh bawa naik bot, bawa senjata nak serang, takkan askarkan tu ramai-ramai? Takkan ada kematian? Tapi Alhamdulillah kita dah tangkap kepala-kepala tu, mereka dalam penjara. Menunggu telah dikenakan hukuman. Isu yang berhadapan dengan kita, mereka sanggup dalam kapal yang kecil bawa senjata. Tentera lawan balik, memanglah ada kematian. Satu. Keduanya, dia nak lawan juga kita, negara yang berdaulat di platform antarabangsa. Seolah-olah kita menzalimi mereka. Seolah-olah kita menafikan hak mereka. Kalau ni lah cerita dia, orang Amerika dengan orang Indian, Australia dengan Aborigines, New Zealand dengan Maori. Ini sebahagian daripada sejarah 1878. Tapi mereka tidak mahu bercakap sehinggalah kerajaan Madani ini memerintah negara. Kita menggunakan offensive strategi melalui media tempatan dan media antarabangsa. So the media is also helping to voice our version of the story. Jadi saya ucap terima kasihlah kepada media Malaysia dan juga antarabangsa sebab memberi peluang kepada suara Malaysia. Dan kemudian kita buatkan kolokium di sini dan kita wujudkan website, pakar-pakar datang. Bukan hanya pembelaan yang kita sebut pembelaan sebagai a desperate defense, but a right defense. Dan pada 4 bulan kita akan berada di Sabah, buat kolokium di Sabah, dan insyaAllah pada bulan 8 ke 9 kita akan buat kolokium yang lebih kurang sama di London bersama satu universiti di sana. Untuk menunjukkan Malaysia tidak takut kita pada landasan yang benar. Itu sebab saya nak terang pada media dan pada rakyat Malaysia hari ini bahawa jaminan daripada kerajaan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri ialah kita akan lawan sehabis-habisan. Tapi yang saya nak sambil lawan sehabis-habisan ni, saya nak kos tu dibayarlah dulu. Cakap banyak, bayarlah kos. Punyalah macam hero, bayar kos. Tak tahulah, mungkin duit Paul Cohen beratus bilion kan, saya tak tahulah. But we will not stop and we will not compromise to any blackmail by any countries or any individual out there. Sama ada rakyat Malaysia ataupun bukan rakyat Malaysia. Okay, saya buka lagi, ada soalan lain?
Hi, Datuk Seri, I'm Sultan from Perdana. I have two questions. Okay, I believe that the Sulu claimants still have a final avenue to appeal, right? They can appeal in the Supreme Court. So, how if the decision is overturned by the Supreme Court, and how Malaysia will react? And second thing, is it if the decision is overturned, a trial will be conducted? Can you explain on the procedures?
On the arbitration.
Yes.
Prof,
Thank you.
you're the professor here.
At the present moment, they have an option to go to the Court of Cassation in Paris. There will be no trial because it is going to be by documents and submissions. If we lose in the court, which I personally doubt, given the number of decisions that are consistently supporting our stand, then we will deal with it when it happens. But at the present moment, I see it almost like impossible because at the present moment when they make the decision on the extractor order, it is the same court that is going to sit for the same judges. So they are going to hear the final award as the court. So, but in the meanwhile, they are going on an appeal to a different court. So the final award annulment will be the same court, and then the appeal will go to another court. So I think there are two processes happening now in France. In the Netherlands, it's finished. In Luxembourg, it will be also finished once the decision comes up. Of course, they can appeal. They can appeal. Everybody can appeal, isn't it? Until the last thing. But I think for us, as far as we are concerned, it's over. So I think we have to take it like that. So I do not think that it will matter in the sense because so far we have not lost any of our cases.
Ada soalan lain? Silakan. It's okay, you can ask me anything, tak ada masalah. Because I have to explain, takut rakyat tak faham. It's very technical kan. Silakan.
Datuk, boleh tak beritahu satu pembela sama ada orang Eropah ataupun Timur Tengah?
Itulah susah nak jawab. Tapi tak apalah. Kabinet telah diberi maklum, jadi kita masih nak siasat. Menteri luar dan Menteri luar bertanggungjawablah dalam perkara ni. Sebab bukti kita dapat tu ialah ada bukti tapi dia tak menyeluruh. Jadi kita nak betul-betul mengesahkan. Tapi banyak daripada catatan ialah daripada Amerika. Itu sebab kita notice dalam kita punya website viewers banyak daripada Amerika. So kita tak tahu sama ada mereka ni daripada Amerika ni yang seronok kot nak tengok negara-negara ASEAN terlibat dalam proses, saya tak tahu. Tapi ada link lah di segi banyak fokus di Amerika. Jadi kita masih dalam siasatan dan kajian. Itu sebabnya peguam kita, solicitor kita di UK akan mula bertulis kepada mereka yang bertempat dan berpusat di UK dulu untuk full disclosure, untuk agreement. Dia sebenarnya masa saya di Madrid, saya beritahu kepada akhbar di sana bahawa dalam negara macam common law macam Malaysia, kalau kita nak buat enforcement pada court order, contohnya garnishment, Anton Pillar, Meriva injunction, kita kena minta kos untuk diletakkan sebagai jaminan. Bila kita enforce, kalau terjadi apa-apa kegagalan, enforcement tu tak berjaya ataupun salah enforcement, ganti rugi boleh dapat balik. Itu kita minta security for cost. Dalam aspek di sini, Timbang Tara ni, dia tak ada proses security for cause. Dia main enforce je. Tapi kalau award tu fraud, memang sepatutnya tak dilayan award tu. Sebab akar dia tu memang tak salah daripada mula kan. Tapi dalam perkara ni, kita berhadapan dengan situasi yang mana mereka perintah yang diwujud tu ialah perintah fraud. Saya sebut di surat khabar di Spain mengatakan bahawa Dr. Stampa tu telah dibayar. Dia pohon 8 juta USD. Dia dibayar 2 lebih juta oleh funder, Tarian funder bayar dia. Dia bayar sebab hasil kerja dia lah. Saya tak tahu, mungkin dia bagi bil kan, kerana dia menjadi arbitrator. Sepatutnya perkara ni tak berlaku, tapi benda tu berlaku. Jadi di sini bila saya di Madrid tu, bila kita dalam siasatan, kita nak tengok situasi yang sedang berlaku, itu yang kita dapat sebenarnya maklumat bahawa kemungkinan lah funder dia punya litigation funder yang investor ni, dia tak tahu sejauh mana perkara ni sedang berlaku. Mereka hanya letak duit saja. Kemungkinan lah. Itu sebab we have to give them the benefit of doubt by writing officially to find out dia faham ke dia tak faham apa yang sedang berlaku. Dia tahu tak keputusan yang berlaku ni di Paris dan di Netherlands ni ialah keputusan yang menidakkan asal usul award tersebut. Itu yang kita bagi dia benefit of doubt. Tak tahulah, mungkin salah satu pada funder 2-3 orang tu tengah masuk website kita ke tengah tengok interview kita sekarang ni. Kalau dia faham bahasa Malaysia lah. Saya pun tak tahu. Tapi isu dia ialah kemungkinan mereka mungkin khawatir sebab litigation funder ni saya dimaklumkan, tapi saya bukan pakar. Dia sebenarnya dia letak duit je, dia tak kisah macam mana orang tu gunakan duit dia. Itu pertama. Lepas tu di Madrid saya juga sebut tentang victim compensation cost. Saya kata sepatutnya kalau mana-mana negara menjadi mangsa, sepatutnya ada tabung yang boleh bagi ganti rugi. Kalau tak kan duit berjuta dibelanja untuk peguam-peguam pakar. Jadi dalam perkara ni tak banyak negara yang terlibat dalam Timbang Tara ada ethics commission tau. Maknanya dia kena ada jawatan kuasa etika. Macam kita di Malaysia kalau peguam tu dia salah buat kerja ke dia tipu, kita pergi bar council report kan. Bar council siasat, lepas tu kita lawyer tu kena bayar ganti rugi. Sebab siapa nak jadi lawyer di Malaysia kena beli insurans. Apa jadi pun insurans akan bayar balik. Itu sebenarnya bila kita jadi peguam profesional, sama juga arkitek, sama juga doktor, sama juga engineer. Itu dalam negara kita lah cara kita kawal profesionalisme. Tapi dalam aspek Timbang Tara, persepsinya tidak ada kawalan. Itu yang jadi macam ni. Mungkin mereka tahu bahawa ada kelonggaran dalam aspek Timbang Tara. Itu yang dia ambil kesempatan. Jadi sebab AIC sebagai pada Timbang Tara Antarabangsa, kita nak membetulkan perkara itu. Itu yang kita bercakap tentang ethics committee dalam setiap negara yang ada Timbang Tara, perdagangan. Kita bercakap tentang victims compensation fund. Kalau third party macam Terium tu terlibat, dia kena ada victim compensation fund. Tak boleh lah dia main letak duit dan dia tak bertanggungjawab. Ini yang kita belajar daripada yang berlaku pada Malaysia. Ini cara kita mencari, kita muhasabah diri apa yang kita perlu perbetulkan. Dan last kali yang saya sebut, Akta State Immunity Act. Kenapa pada saya beritahu pada Kabinet pada bulan 10 ni kita nak wujudkan Akta ni, iaitu kalau negara disaman kena ada prosedur lain. Dia tak boleh main buka je. Ini negara disaman, tiba-tiba kita tak tahu, tiba-tiba kena saman. Mana boleh? Itu sebab di Paris yang berlaku di Paris, kalau dia nak saman negara, dia kena serve dekat embassy. Itu sebab di Paris tu yang kita lawan dan kita tangkap gerakan dia. Dia hantar bailiff dekat lokasi rumah pegawai-pegawai embassy di Paris. Dia ada 2-3 rumah kan. Dia hantar bailiff. Terperanjat orang tu kat rumah, tiba-tiba orang nak datang lelok rumah. Bukan lelok, dia kata dia nak siasat rumah. Embassy ni, dia ni daripada pintu ke, parking ke, memang tak boleh masuk. Kita ni pun kat Malaysia nak masuk embassy, tak kena tembak. Dia tak boleh. Itu bidang kuasa immunity satu negara adalah embassy. Dia boleh pergi ke embassy yang blok belakang tu. Itu yang ambassador kita di Paris beritahu saya. Tiba-tiba main masuk je nak kira berapa lampu, berapa tingkap, berapa pintu. Tak terpengsan orang kawan-kawan kita di Paris. Macam gitu sekali. Sebab inilah satu gerakan fraud lah ni. Dia tak ada order pun. Kita dah petikai, dia masih nak serang. Kalau inilah cara dia fikir, dia nak buat Malaysia sedemikian, tu yang kita akan lawan habis-habisan. Sebab pada saya, dia orang ni dah tahap biadab dah. Itu saya kata kat kau, you want to fight, fight fairly. Play fair. Don't tell me the fight is over. I'll tell you, I'll see you. Tell me the place, where and when. Takkan Elon Musk dengan Mark Zuckerberg dia kan? Betul tak? Apa nak takut? Malaysia pada platform yang benar. Kita jangan takut sebab kita bercakap atas kebenaran. Okey, soalan lain? Janganlah quote saya Zuckerberg dengan Mas. Kadang-kadang kena MMA pula. Tapi boleh juga lah. Ada soalan lain? Anything else? So you got an angle for your front page story tomorrow. It's a joke, it's a joke. Right, anything else? Anyone? Any clarification? Don't worry, any question I will answer. Silakan. I want to guide the media sebab banyak orang kadang dia tak faham, dia tak tangkap sangat. Some of the media is very good, yeah.
Sorry, Junaid from the Star. So just one question. Since so far the results from the European sides, I mean the arbitration courts and everything, it's not really favorable towards the claimants, right? So are we expecting something, something in return here in Malaysia? As in, we know it happened before in 2013, which is the Lahadatu, serangan di Lahadatu previously. So are we taking any extra measures just in case maybe they're actually planning something, or is there any already, government already taking extra measures?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the assurance by the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and the Defence Minister. I think you're speaking about ESCOM. I think the government is also on alert. But I don't have the expertise to respond further. But the colloquium in Sabah next week is also very interesting because the state government has been instructed by the federal government to be active, more involved in this matter because the fact that the premise is in Sabah. I think, to be fair, a lot of Sabahan knows exactly this historical relationship. Some are even married to them. So maybe the colloquium would be a better picture. That's why when we started the colloquium in AIC, we had few professors from university in Sabah who gave further clarification, and we recorded that and we uploaded, and it really helped. I think a lot of people didn't understand from the Sabah perspective. And the Sabah perspective must be louder than the Semenanjung's perspective because this is about their land. And they understand, and they are the one that sees what is going on every day. When it comes to the Sulu or the Suluks and the Sabahans. Any other questions? Nothing. I think they've served you lunch, right? Is it okay?
Hi, Datuk Seri. Sorry, just to follow up, you mentioned that you've asked the solicitors in London to contact Tyrium for full disclosure. That process, can you explain that? Just elaborate the details of it.
I don't know.
Are you able to? Thank you.
Well, it's not that I cannot. I can, but I think we'll inform you once we issue the letter, because there's a certain procedure processes that we do. But basically what I'm saying is that I'm giving them the benefit of doubt. Because I know investors sometimes, they don't really, macam kita lah, sometimes you like ASN, ASB, invest tabung haji, invest Felda. Sometimes when you invest money, you don't really ask how they spend the money. Then something when things go wrong, suddenly you're like, oh my God, this is the wrong investment. So we're just trying to be fair. Maybe the investors will just sit back and say, look, this is ridiculous. So that's why I commented on Cohen, because I don't think so it's his money. It's just an investor's money. But I'm told usual practice is that they don't take much. They only take 4-fold or 5-fold of the amount, which is if they invested 100 million, they want to bring back 400 to 500 million. That is the folding they do. They don't ask a percentage of the winning. It's not like, 30%. Because to enforce to wait until the end, they don't want to wait that long. Investors, they want to hit and run. And maybe they're looking into, this is maybe, looking at the award, looking at the agreement in Jawi, looking at the story, maybe they think, wow, this is hook, line, and sinker, sure can make money. Suddenly realizing whatever was showed was misrepresentation. That's why we had to put up the website and do the colloquium, so that maybe that's why a lot of visitors are from US, for them to really understand what is transpiring. We are also trying to assist them. Don't waste your money on this rogue arbitrator. You're going to lose more money. But that's their relationship. I don't know whether they buy insurance. I don't know. Okay. Any other questions? Siapa nak semayang masjid kat depan? Are we giving them lunch? Yes. Please eat before you go back. But this is not from the litigation funding. Any other questions? Anything? Soalan? Tuan-tuan, perempuan? Ada apa-apa? Tak ada. Alright. So thank you so much. I think the experts are here. They can assist you. If it's in English, then they can translate. If it's in Malay, we can translate to you in English. Okay, thank you.
Thanks everyone. We have refreshments and lunch right outside.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw the highlight. It says that. That's good.
I wanted to
You want to write to Robert on that.
Because what they said is basically because of the suspension of the final arrangement is actually a ground under this protocol. So they are actually using that in order not to give recognition for the position.
So it will be a mirror image to Luxembourg.
Yeah, I would think so, and mirror image everywhere else.
Nama adun, semua ada.